And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 7. Actually, I'm not sure if that's accurate, that price. I'm bought camels in years. It is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, we have Margaret Kennard and Cristina Arnold with us this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
In unison, even. See, I know it's bright and early, but y'all nailed it. So how are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Good. I know busy night last night. The primaries are done, and now we turn our attention on to the general election. So for the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, I guess it's time to rally the troops now. Right now that we know who your nominees are going to be, it's time for November here and start promoting and getting the word out about the Republican candidates running for office here in the general election. So.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I don't know if you guys heard it on the way in, but I was kind of talking about a stat there, and we are looking at the numbers from the results from last night, and it's going to be a dogfight in the fall. If you look at the numbers, there was like 116,000 total votes.
116,000 for Michelle Lujan.
Well, just for Republican candidates, Republicans or people that voted in the Republican primary, because you can't really say Republicans because it could be some libertarians or non-affiliate, whatever. This year, there's that. But there was 116,000 total that voted in the Republican primary, if you take all the governor votes there. Well, in the Democrat side, Michelle Lujan Grisham, 124,000 voted in that.
Right.
She ran unopposed. So if you do those numbers, I mean, if everybody voted in the Republican voted for the Republican candidate, it's going to be a dogfight at the end here. So my point is make sure you vote in the fall, because if you think your vote don't count.
This is something I think that we've dealt with every election, is that we always come up short.
Yeah.
And that's, the pressure is on Southeast New Mexico to bring those votes in for those statewide races.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is every year, every election we run into that same issue trying to get that vote out.
Yeah.
We have the voter base. We just need to get everybody engaged. And that's, I think, something that we struggle with every time.
Yeah. This is that one decision that you get that actually impacts change in our community. You can sit on your social medias and watch the news and pontificate at the TV all day, but that's not going to impact change. That's not going to fix the things you want fixed. The only way you do that is by going, registering to vote, and actually voting. And vote educated, obviously. I always say that, when you do vote, make sure you have reasons for the people you vote for. But for those folks that say my vote doesn't count, or you've been watching, everyone's complaining about this and that, and don't make it. Even before the last couple years with voter fraud and all the topics that have been out here, there's a lot of people that are, think their vote doesn't count, those kind of things. And nothing can be further from the truth on that. The reason, the reason people have not won races and things in Southeast New Mexico. There's been races not won because simply people didn't come out and vote. There was, you look at the numbers for your people either assume or I don't know what their logic is, but I know we've had races in the past where people probably would have been elected that you wanted had enough people actually turned out to vote. And the places where they counted on these folks to vote, a fraction of a percentage of the actual people that came out to vote actually voted. So
right.
That's the big problem here. It's not even so much more Democrats or more Republicans or whatever it is. It's more people that aren't voting at all. They just kind of either let other people do it or think it's disenfranchised with the process or something. I don't know.
Well, one of the things I think that I've encountered after being involved for, since I think 2014 is when I kind of started getting, I've always voted and things like that, but actually been part of the process is, you sell ads, that ads are going out on the radio, there's signs out there, something's going on if you're paying attention at all when you're driving down the street. But some things that I've encountered every time is like, oh, there's an election. And then, I've talked to people there after they've gone to vote and they're like, oh, I didn't know all these people were going to be on the ballot. I didn't know all these offices were up for. So constantly what we try to do with the Republican women is educate.
Sure.
This is what's going on. These are the people that are going to be on your ballot. Come meet them.
Yeah.
It's rough. I don't know what else you can do.
Well, and part of it is got to be the responsibility of us, the citizen.
Right.
I know the candidates, organizations like yourself take the onus on, we've got to get the word out to vote. But y'all can scream from the highest mountaintop on the planet. We could lock down every channel that's existed and put nothing but vote propaganda on there, and there's still going to be people who I didn't know. You know what I mean? The onus some of that onus has to be on we the people. Mm-hmm. We talk about voting and people talk about rights, privileges, and all. Either way you look at it, it's a responsibility because we're asking for your opinion on who should run this country. And if you're not giving us a valued opinion, you're just going on either what Margaret's saying, I didn't even know who these people were, or I like their sign, or they look pretty good in a suit. I mean, whatever it is that they use, I mean, that's on you. That's on us, the people. We gotta. It's part of our responsibility as being good citizens is to educate yourself on these policies. Now, granted, you don't have to become legal pundit experts and watch Fox News or CNN or whatever it is 24/7. That'll drive you batty crazy. But at least understand some of the issues, what's going on in the state, and understand who stands for what. So you, A, know who's running in these said elections, but B, also have a good idea on the people that line up with what you believe in. And that is our responsibility, the public. We need to do better about that. We parents need to teach their kids more about that. We as a society need to put more emphasis on educating people about getting involved in the democratic process and how it works and why you should vote for it and what happens when you don't. And we're experiencing a lot of that right now. We got so much information going out there, and let's face it, a small percentage of it is factual information versus some kind of opinionated slant put on it in some way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, we live in a society where if you're not savvy enough to pick up on that, you're going to be led down a lot of stuff. So we got to get smarter and understand all that stuff too. And I know I got way down a rabbit hole here, but
well, I think you're right. I think that one of the good things about what we do with the Republican women is that you get to meet these people face to face.
Sure.
Statewide candidates, and you get to hear directly from them, and you can make that determination on how you feel about that person, if it was a genuine experience,
sure.
If what they have to say lines up with what you believe in. Because so often, you don't really get to see these people, especially like nationally, to really know them. Mm-hmm. And so I think that we offer something to Southeast New Mexico that allows them that opportunity.
Absolutely. You get to, for folks that aren't familiar, if you have been coming out to the last several Chaves County Federated Republican Women meetings, it's all been candidate focused. Just almost every meeting you've had for the last several months now has been nothing but candidates for various positions, either locally, statewide, or nationally here. And I'm guessing you're going to continue to do that, so through that up to the election here. So this is what we're talking about. Come out to these meetings. We'll tell you about the next one here in just a few minutes. But come out, meet these candidates, because they'll come and speak to you, and you get an awesome lunch and all that cool stuff. But you really get one-on-one time with them, because before the lunch or after the lunch, you can walk up, shake their hand, talk to them, and say, hey, I love what you think on this. What do you think about this? And they're all politicians. They'll be happy to sit down and talk to you about this. You know what I mean? You're right. This is your chance to really get in there and understand. And that way you get to see personalities too.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to see them when they're not, in a presentation mode per se, where if they're behind a podium, that's a structured speech or structured whatever they're going to say. When you're just sitting there, over a sandwich or sitting there just in a casual conversation, you get to learn what a person's really like. You're not performing so much for them. They're just being themselves a little bit. So you get to learn, kind kind of their idiosyncrasies and things, just a little bit to that kind of stuff. So please come out to these meetings, come meet these candidates, vote informed. That's the thing I cannot stress enough is I hate when people just vote to vote. That's almost as bad as not voting, in my opinion. I'd rather, I may not agree with their opinion, but at least it's an opinion, and it's at least something educated, and I can get behind that,
Yeah.
So let's talk about this next meeting. What's on tap for the next Chaves County Federated Republican meeting?
So do you want to?
Yeah. So we are meeting on Wednesday, June, what is it?
15th.
Thank you. I was going to say 19th.
1 week from today.
Yeah, 1 week from today.
1 week from
Always
today.
Good. Yeah. We actually open the doors at 11:30
Okay.
at the Roswell Convention Center.
Yes.
Yeah, we start at noon, and we welcome people out. Our hopes is to get the GOP primary winner to be
Okay.
our speaker. We want to actually have them come speak to us, and it's Ron Ketty. Right?
Yes. So we're calling out Ron Ketty right now.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, he was actually. We gave him notice.
We did,
and
yeah.
we asked each of the gubernatorial candidates if they would put it on their save the date
Sure.
to come and speak.
And it committed. So
Yeah. So this is.
Well, they're
Is-
gonna need Mark Ronchetti's gonna need everybody's support
Yeah.
to become governor of New Mexico.
That's
so
the focus of the thing is to actually have him come talk to us about what he needs from Chaves County. I
Yeah.
mean, we've really got to rally.
yeah.
I think from this race, you can see this in the last municipal race that our turnout is kind of questionable.
Yeah.
It's really low. So we've got to at least do some inspiring.
I didn't do the digging on research and all that, but do you ballpark know how many registered voters we have versus
I
didn't
do.
vote? Okay, I figured if anybody knew in this
She
room, it
likes
might
it
be.
that
Well, I don't know where we're at now, but a couple of years ago we were at 17,000 registered Republican voters.
Okay.
And so when you have just a small portion of those come out for a race, that's what I'm saying. We have the voter base in the Republican Party to really bring out some good numbers.
But they get to get out and vote.
Right.
So
So,
weren't we at like 7? What was our voter turnout for this race?
well, according to what the Secretary of State website was, it said 26%.
Which, that's not good. I mean, I don't know what the numbers traditionally are, but
Usually it's,
It's lower.
yeah, it's
So
usually around
this
22%.
one brought out,
that's better.
yes.
Yeah.
But still,
20, yeah.
well, I mean, I don't know. Registered voters that can actually vote in 26. I don't know that doesn't look like a good report card to me.
No.
I'm kind of thinking,
Well,
and
that,
should we be
that
around
includes
70%?
that includes every party. So I
Okay.
don't know specifically the
Ah.
Republican.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I
Republican
mean?
okay,
So-
I got you.
But that's what the Secretary website said this morning.
Well-
State website said this morning. So.
Based off history,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Southeast New Mexico / Chaves County is predominantly Republican as far as voter registration.
Correct.
I'm
Correct,
going to
yeah.
guess. So I'm going to say that's probably the closest number to actual registered voters in the county. You maybe add another couple thousand for Democrats, but I'm going to guess is probably like 1 to 2% of this county are registered Democrats. I have no idea, but I'm going to guess it's something that low.
I want to say that it was. I can't even remember now off the top of my head, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I was looking at those numbers last night at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And, just like you said, we're at pretty much every race. If you look at the Democratic candidate versus the Republican candidate race, we're like at a 10,000 voter deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to make that up plus more for cushion,
Sure.
come November.
So so the next couple months is really, that's the goal here, is to get people to come out and vote here for the general election. Either get registered, or if you are registered, make sure your information's good to go and you're lined up to vote here in November, when they start with early voting in October probably.
Right.
So
And, there's a voter portal where you can verify that your address is correct, that you're, that you are registered for the party that you want to be registered for. A couple of years ago, I encountered a lot of people when I was going door to door for the Trump campaign who said, I never changed my voter registration, but, it just says that I'm an independent. But what they found, several of these people, is when they went to the motor vehicle department to get their license updated, something happened there where they either they didn't realize what they were doing when
Okay.
you know, because
Yeah.
you can
You can-
you can
They
do
checked
that
a
there.
box that
Yep.
they thought they didn't
Don't
check or
know.
something. Yeah.
I don't know exactly how that happens, but
Gotcha.
anyway, so that's something that if you're not sure what you're registered or
Mm-hmm.
if your information's up to date, you know, I know that every once in a while they purge the voter rolls. And if
Right.
you think maybe you haven't voted, you know,
You may got purged by
right,
accident there.
You know,
Yeah.
check it out.
Well, and I know because of the redistricting going on with the Congress, which is still in a fight, by the way. But
Yes.
But I know I got in the mail maybe a week or two ago a new voter registration card with the updated information.
I,
I'm
yes.
assuming every registered voter in the county gets something similar. Hold on to that because that's the most accurate info. But if you didn't get one or you already discarded that, yeah, I believe if you go to the county's website, to the clerk's office, there's a link to the New Mexico State. I don't know the actual web address off the top of my head, but there's a link there that you can go to the Mexico, and it'll tell you all your voting history, your part, who you registered with, and everything else. But it even goes down to every vote you've made in New Mexico. You can see how you voted, so it's pretty cool. And so you can use that as a resource to check out where you stand as far as your voting status and all that good stuff.
And one of the biggest issues I think that we've come across in door knocking is people don't update their addresses.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to a door where they no longer live. And, you know, we know they're still voting because they're showing up as an active voter, but
They're voting in
You
wrong
know,
precincts and districts
right.
because their address is different. Yeah.
And it's important.
Absolutely, yeah, because you're not voting for the people that are technically representing you,
Right.
Especially when you get to the more local elections. You know, you might be voting for the complete opposite city councilor that you should be voting for, or county commissioner, or any of these races. I mean, yeah, although in the congressional race, the CD 1, 2, and 3. Depending on what part of the city you live in, you're in one of the three now.
Right.
You know, before it was pretty much you're in two. But now, I got to be honest, I initially thought I was in one on this redistricting. I got my card and said, oh, I'm in three.
Yeah.
I actually thought I was in one. So, yeah. So it's a hot mess right now on that side. But
I don't think that the maps previous to a couple of weeks ago were readily available. I mean, maybe even a month ago,
Yeah.
you had no idea really where you felt.
yeah, I kind of just ballpark guessed in my head. I was like, okay, I think I'm in one. And then I got my card. Like, oh, look at that. I'm in three. I need to pay more attention to that race, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at the one race and I was like, oh, I'm in three.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where we're at right now. So please, if you did not vote in the primary yesterday, get registered to vote. If you're already registered, please vote in the general election. And please vote educated and start by coming out to the Chaves County Federated Republic of Women's next meeting, which will be next Wednesday, 11:30?
11
Yes.
Dorothy.
11:30 at the Roswell Convention and Civic
Yep.
Center. To eat and all of that stuff, go ahead and RSVP with the Chaves County Federated Republic of Women. We got to figure out an acronym to say that quick.
You can say CCFRW. That's what we call it. But I mean, even still, that's
That's not that. That's a mouthful too.
Right.
the Republican Women. I don't know, the Chaves County Federated Republic. But if you want to go out to their Facebook page and you can shoot a message or something if you want more information about the meeting or if you want to RSVP. There is a cost if you want to eat, right?
Yes.
What's the cost for all that?
The luncheon is $16.
Okay, which is good food, by the way. If
Yeah.
you haven't a chance to try the new digs, the new foods and stuff that are fairs that are being offered at the convention center, give it a try. They know what they're doing. They're
Yeah,
pretty good.
pretty good.
Pretty good chefs over there, and they got some good food.
And I think we're very fortunate here in Roswell and Chaves County. I mean, $16 might seem a lot to some people, but
You bought anything nowadays?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and if you
I
go,
paid $15 for a cheesy hamburger about 2 days ago, and it wasn't even a good one. You know,
Oh.
$15.
Yeah.
So yeah.
well, you know, up north, you know, the meetings that other Republican women have, they're paying $25 and $50
For lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like it's a deal, and you know,
It actually is in this day and age. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just prices are so. Again, you mad about the price of lunch? Vote.
Funny, yeah.
And like you said, hopefully we'll have Mark Ronchetti as your guest
That's the
speaker
goal.
here for. But please mark this second. Is it second Wednesday? Yes, second Wednesday. Second Wednesday on your month.
third
Wednesday. I'm sorry. The third Wednesday on your month.
Our radio spot is the second.
Yes,
This is how
there
I
we
try
go.
and keep things straight.
Okay, so mark the third Wednesday of the month on your calendars because that's going to be that Wednesday is going to be the Chaves County Federated Republican Women meetings, and it'll be like this from now through. Well, it'll be
we have candidates lined up all the way through October.
So you get to learn more about each month. It'll could be a congressional race, could be a more local race or something like that. But it's going to be all people running for office, especially when the ladies get an opportunity to get some of your less sexy candidate positions, like state auditor and attorney. But the problem is these are very important positions, very much power, and it's important to understand who you put in those positions.
Right.
But let's face it, they don't get the sexy run that governor gets or House representative or any of those things. But at the end of the day, they do more good or more damage than sometimes the governor does. So when you get opportunities to meet the people running for attorney general and state auditor and lieutenant governor, these are very important positions that don't get the shine that the other ones do. Please.
A position that's really important that most people don't realize is the land commissioner.
Yeah, very
they
important. They
actually hold a lot of say separate from, the actual governor and all that. It's a whole separate power.
A lot of autonomy there on those kind of things.
And people don't actually realize that position is kind of, like you said, not very glamorous, and not many people think about it, but it has a lot of power.
Yeah, but how many wars start over land? Just saying.
Exactly. Well, mineral rights and what's everything.
What's the joke about water? Whiskey's for drinking and water's for fighting or whatever it is. Yeah, it's the same thing.
I've not heard that joke.
So please pay attention to those races too here in the coming months because those are very important decisions you're going to make. So.
And just so we can say we've done our part, November 1st is election day.
Yes.
So make a plan to go vote.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Put it on your calendar
right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Get registered if you have not registered. I don't know exactly when early voting will start, but it'll be usually about a month out. It usually start early voting and things like that. It'll be just like yesterday. They're going to have probably 12 dozen different early voting convenience centers throughout the town that day. Usually early voting will be at the clerk's office probably the first couple weeks, and then they'll expand it to usually the mall or something like that about 2 weeks in, and then it'll be just like that. But put it on your, like Margaret's saying, make your plans, get now, and then use this next several months here to solidify your choices.
The county party will have opportunities to, volunteer. We'll help in that effort. So, every candidate in this race can use volunteers here in Chaves County.
Absolutely.
So we're calling volunteers right now. If you're listening and you want to see some changes in our state, we need each and every one of you to help us out.
Yeah, definitely rally the troops. I know we had a lot of great people in the community support the various 5 candidates that were for governor here. Well, if your person wasn't the person that ended up winning last night, let's jump on ship for this one and let's rally that support and get it all towards our winner last night, so that there's a fighting chance for an election here in November here where we're getting, because I like I said, I started the show by saying, look, 124,000 Democrats voted yesterday, 116,000 Republicans. It's going to be a dogfight in November.
Yes.
It's no man's. I know people are looking to say, wow, Ron Ketty crushed it last night. Yeah, within his own. Wait till this gets national or gets statewide here.
Yep.
It's going to be a dogfight. Get in there. So, what else? Is there anything else we want to mention? What if people want to get involved with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women as a volunteer? And by the way, you don't have to be a woman.
Right.
To be a Federated Republic. Now you're going to be kind of like an auxiliary, but you can. Men are allowed to participate too.
Right.
We appreciate men.
That's right. We got to list stuff and be told what to do.
Yeah.
Well, we have nearly as many men as we do women come to our meetings. So,
Sure.
Just because people do think, oh, it's just for women. No, we have we have men and women,
Sure.
and nearly as many men as we have women.
But this is it's a women-run, controlled organization.
Yeah.
That's the mantra of it, and it's kind of like back in the days, you had the boys' parties and the girls' parties, and this is kind of one of those things. But it's integrated as far as who attends, but as far as the actual decision, the leaders, and all that, that's the women.
Yeah. Well, and the monthly meetings are very informative. So it is very. It behooves.
Well, the
men to
issues
come
we're
out.
talking
Yeah.
about are family issues.
Yeah.
They're not women issues or men's issues, or these are everybody's issues. So, but yeah, it's a woman-run organization, and the men are kind of the support in this one. That's how it works. So come out, be a part of it. If I'm guessing most of your men are married to a spouse that is part of the
Sometimes.
I'm thinking most of the
I'm
cases.
trying to think of any single. We don't have any single, I don't think. But
Well, what's interesting is that, I look at people that are involved in politics, and generally you have one spouse that's heavily involved, and
Sure.
then you have one that has absolutely no desire to be
Sure.
involved.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
At least the public, the voice of that, yeah.
You're right.
They may have
So-
their opinions to said spouse at home, but not when everyone's standing in the room with them.
Well, what I mean is, for instance, myself, my husband's very involved and knows what's going on in the world and locally and stuff, but he doesn't really have, well, and plus he works out of town, but
Sure.
he really doesn't have the desire to
He's
go.
not on a stump shouting from the
Right.
rooftops about
And I
what
look at Cristina, and then I look at other people
Sure.
that are involved. You generally have one that's out there and one that, they get drug along a lot.
Sure. Well, and it's family roles and things like
Yes.
that, and I'm sure each family's different where, it's just the dynamics that maybe the husband's more focused on something here while you guys are focused on this. And so, all right, it's all the dynamics of a family. We all have our roles and things like that. And it's probably just so happens in some of the Chaves County Federated Republican women where the, some of the men are doing some of the behind the scenes roles where it's just the dynamics of how it works. That's kind of how I just look at it in a world of, we look at the world we live in and it's crazy and this and assigning of roles and this and all is crazy. And I'm like, all right, well, do what you do feel best and all that. But then there's sometimes you look and you want traditional too, because traditional, like when we talk about family values and things like that, you kind of want that regardless of the people in place on insert peg here, you want the love. Is everybody getting nurtured? Is everybody getting educated? You all want those same things. We just, previously we're like, oh, mom's nurturer, therefore mom should be doing these roles, and dad. And I like that. I like the best of both worlds, where you want some tradition there because that's what we as humans crave, but at the same time, I don't want you. People shouldn't be defined by that either. It's like, no, I'm a woman, therefore I'm a mom. No, not necessarily. I'm a role. I'm a dad. I'm like, no, not necessarily. You do what you want to do as long as all the check boxes get checked at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it gets done, whatever.
Yep.
So I think that it's literally a lot of that, and I think we're kind of going into maybe, who knows, the next generations where it's there isn't any of that, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I hope that, I think it's everybody's hope. I've heard it several times over the past several years that I've been involved. Every new chair of the county party, one of the goals of the Republican women is to get younger people involved. And I don't know how we do that. I feel like that's been one of the missions of everybody that's come before us, is to try and do that. But
well, maybe the goal is now, especially since we got the summer months here, obviously age appropriate, but maybe bring your teenage kids to some of these meetings and things, and getting them involved in some of this
interestingly enough, the Chaves County Republican Party has started a I can't remember what they call it, but
Young
it's
Republicans.
A Young Republican.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Is that for like youth or for like 20-something?
I think it's like from voting age up to like 34 or something like that. But
I got you.
it's actually in motion.
Okay.
There's
cool.
some things.
So we're
planned
just
on it.
above that age where we don't qualify as a young Republican.
I would have lied. I said just below. We're almost eligible.
I was like, can you extend it to 38?
21, right in the window.
Yeah.
No, but so I feel like I don't know. Some of the things that I've noticed, even with my kids, like that college kids that maybe don't really pay attention to a whole lot of things other than like what directly affects them. And I had my daughter who lives in Las Cruces and goes to school there. She's like, this inflation, and I'm like, okay, yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
something's making an impression.
Sure. Yeah, you're half happy and half like, what are you talking about at the same time? I just saw the time. We're running out of it.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we've gone on.
But please come on out. The next Chaves County Federated Republican Women's Meeting will be 1 week from today, Wednesday, the 15th, 11:30 a.m. at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. If you don't want to eat or nothing, you can just come on out,
absolutely.
Right? But if you'd like to have lunch and stuff, it's $16. RSVP through the Chaves County Federated Republican Women's Facebook page. Just shoot a message on there or whatever, and we'll get you in there.
Absolutely.
And, come on out and come here, and just mark it on your calendars. Every Wednesday, the third Wednesday of the month, every Wednesday, come on out 11:30 for the meetings, and it'll be after the election too, but you definitely want to catch these ones leading up to the November general election. So, and of course, if you want to learn more about becoming a member of the Chaves County Federated Republican Women as a volunteer, or if you want to get in on some of, like Margaret was saying, on some of the campaigns to volunteer and help out, use the Chaves County Federated Republican Women as that foot in the door to get into some of those campaigns and things. So, very good. Did we get it all?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Mike.
Take a breather before you got to turn into your attentions to the next race here and get a bit of a break before the next round here. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Can you go back to bed now, or do you have to go work now?
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
if she's got kids. I know she can't do none of that. But anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right.